I'd like to welcome everyone here today on behalf of the Snow Leopard Conservancy, and thank you for joining us. My name is Shavaun Kidd, and I'm the Outreach Manager at the Snow Leopard Conservancy, and I'll be your host for today. For those of you who might be new to the Snow Leopard Conservancy, I'll give you a little bit of our history. The organization was started in the year 2000 by Dr. Rodney Jackson, wildlife biologist, and his wife, Darla Hillard. Rodney had begun his journey with snow leopards in the early 1980s with a 4.5 year study in Nepal, where he was the first to place a radio collar on a snow leopard. This study garnered him a National Geographic cover story, and the rest, they say, is history. Our mission is ensuring snow leopard survival and conserving mountain landscapes by expanding environmental awareness and sharing innovative practices through community stewardship and partnerships. Today, we're celebrating snow leopards. I want to thank Steve Tracy for this beautiful photo. And observing International Snow Leopard Day, which was last Wednesday. International Snow Leopard Day marks the anniversary of the signing of the Bishkek Declaration by the 12 snow leopard range countries in October of 2013 at the first Global Forum on the Conservation of the Snow Leopard held in Bishkek, Kyrgyz Republic. By adoption of this, the Bishkek Declaration, it begins, the snow leopard range countries pledge to ensure that snow leopards and the people who live among them thrive in healthy ecosystems that contribute to the prosperity and well-being of our countries and the planet. We're going to begin our program today with some readings from the book, Searching for the Snow Leopard, Guardian of the High Mountains. This book began as an idea that Margaret Yee, our Australian ambassador, had for a children's book with seek and find photos of snow leopards. She approached Darla with the idea, and then Darla turned the project over to me, and I immediately got in touch with photographer Bjorn Pearson from Sweden and Oriol Alemany from Spain, who I'd worked with on a newsletter article that covered their recent trips to India to search for a snow leopard. And they agreed to help me with the project. I asked them if they would contribute not only photographs, but perhaps write some essays. Excuse me, and they agreed. And then I asked Bjorn if he would be willing to help me with some of the narratives, some of the text, and he said, sure. So we embarked on our journey from there, and I asked photographer Tashi Argali from Nepal to join us, and Jack Wonderly, a photographer and conservationist from California, Katie Duffy, independent snow leopard researcher from Ohio, and Sue Leibach, an artist and writer from Canada. And that's how our team was formed. But this first reading today is the poem that begins the book. Shrouded in the swirling snow, she magically appears, climbing effortlessly across the high ridge. Her presence is felt even when not seen. The humans who have gone in search of her know they are not alone. She is there, watching, guarding, unseen in her frozen realm of rock and snow. People ask me all the time, why snow leopards? Why should we care about these big feline predators? And of course, we all know that there's a great ecological impact of a big predator like the snow leopard on the ecosystem, and that they are a keystone species and an indicator species of how well that ecosystem is doing. But the introduction to searching begins like this. Why snow leopards? Beyond the ecological importance of a top predator like the snow leopard, there is something inherently mystical that draws us to these powerful big cats. Their ability to survive in one of the world's harshest climates, combined with their beauty and ethereal quality, has been the impetus for humans to not only respect and admire them, but also revere them. Over the centuries, the snow leopard has become part of the local culture and traditions and has been elevated to the position of a sacred species. This elusive cat is considered by indigenous wisdom to be a protector of sacred mountains, a unifying force and source of spiritual power and wisdom. Searching for the Snow Leopard is an anthropological text. It takes a look at our bond that we have, the anthropological bond that we have with these big feline predators, and our bond with nature and how we all fit together. The introduction continues this way. Inherent to snow leopard conservation is the unique experience of searching for one. While the focus may be on working with people, the hope is to have an opportunity to see this elusive cat in its natural habitat. A trip to snow leopard territory takes extensive planning, but unanticipated obstacles do still arise. Unless you've been there before, it's difficult to know how you will handle the rugged terrain and high elevation, not to mention the remoteness, intense quiet, and feeling of isolation. You can pack warm clothing and sturdy boots, but those won't prepare you physically or mentally for surviving at the roof of the world. Enduring the challenges often transforms a snow leopard trek into one of personal discovery. Some gain an enhanced appreciation of nature. For others, there's a realization of how we humans fit into the ecological picture. The indigenous communities of the high Asian mountains represent a broad cultural diversity, yet there's a commonality of understanding of their relationship with the environment. The members of those communities recognize that their culture and spirituality are interwoven with the natural world. Simply put, people are a part of nature. This perspective may be unfamiliar to visitors. Many of us who live in more urban settings experience nature with a sense of detachment, viewing it from within the confines of a zoo or botanical garden. There's also a disregard for our natural world, along with increasing attempts to control it or exploit it in pursuit of economic gain. But for those living in one of the most rugged and remote landscapes on the planet, survival requires working with instead of against the elements. As Camille Mama Deliev, an indigenous cultural practitioner from the Altai Republic, says, it is our responsibility to care for the environment and protect it as it is provided for us. For truckers, having an opportunity to experience this relationship firsthand and perhaps rediscover the human connection to nature can be illuminating and inspiring, especially when that connection extends to the snow leopard itself. The stories and images that follow are from conservationists and photographers who have traveled to the high mountains of Asia to study and photograph the snow leopard. They are a recreation of their personal experiences. Interwoven with their stories are the knowledge they have gained through painstaking observation and the reflections on what it will take to save this iconic species. Accompany them as they learn firsthand about the life of the snow leopard. Experience what it is like to search for one against a background of rock and snow, and explore that intangible connection between humans and this sacred cat. The high altitude and rugged terrain might seem to be enough to dissuade those who yearn to see a snow leopard in the wild. But there are more obstacles to consider: temperature extremes, unpredictable weather conditions, limited electronic communication, precarious footing, and even possible illness or injury. not to mention the logistics of funding, applying for visas, hiring guides, securing park permits, and arranging for transportation, supplies, and accommodations. Make locating and filming the snow leopard one of the most difficult endeavors a photographer can undertake. But the rewards more than outweigh the difficulties. To locate and photograph this elusive predator in the wild is the ultimate accomplishment. For those who go in search of the snow leopard, the expedition may hold unexpected discoveries. Though their goal is to observe and photograph one of the most elusive predators on the planet, they may also witness a magical transformation of the stark, frigid landscape to one of true beauty and experience the interconnectedness of nature and the human spirit. This next reading is one of my favorites. I usually share it. It's an essay written by Katie Duffy. She's the independent snow leopard researcher from Ohio. And she has a beautiful way with words. But this is a really neat little essay by Katie. It's called A Voice in the Silence. I bent down to look at a pug mark in the powdery snow. The dryness of the climate had perfectly preserved each of the billions of snowflakes, allowing the individually unique icy stars to sparkle under the cloudless sky. Just as I was trying to estimate when the snow leopard had crossed this valley and observe which way it had headed, a chill ran up my spine at the sound of a piercing cry that echoed among the peaks. My teammate and I froze. The overwhelming silence of the land was replaced with the rapid thumping of my heart in my chest. One more time, the yowl reverberated into the valley. I stood, looking at my teammate in awe, with two words being trailed by a puffy cloud of my frozen breath and a huge grin on my face. Snow leopard. But before all this adventure happens, before the magic happens, extensive planning is necessary before embarking on your snow leopard trek. Every aspect of dealing with the environment must be considered. First, there is the cold. Every minute of the day, your body is shivering and the icy winds go straight through to your bones. Unlike the snow leopard, whose many adaptations allow it to withstand the brutal cold. Its fur, which is longer and denser than any of the other panthera cats, provides excellent insulation. Its tail, which is as long as its body, is used as a blanket to protect it from the icy winds. Its diminutive ears minimize heat loss while reducing the chance of frostbite. And its enlarged nasal cavity is an excellent mechanism for warming inhaled cold air. Then there is the altitude. Every step feels like a round of heavyweight boxing, and the lack of oxygen keeps you in a constant state of vertigo. For the snow leopard, the altitude isn't a problem. With a unique blood chemistry, it's able to maximize the oxygen in its bloodstream and still conserve heat energy. And with large nasal openings, the snow leopard is able to inhale more air with each breath, thus increasing the amount of oxygen it receives. Finally, there's the terrain. Every step you take is precarious and could result in a turned ankle, a tumble down a slope, or even a plunge down the side of a mountain. But the snow leopard's muscular 50 to 115-pound body seems to be perfectly made for steep, rocky slopes and deep snow and ice. Its huge paws are like snowshoes, and its strong, flexible body allows it to leap great distances, make sharp turns, and accelerate powerfully and quickly while giving chase. Even its tail serves an important function, acting as a rudder as it races up and down the side of a mountain. The obstacles one faces when searching for a snow leopard are undeniably difficult, and the pictures obtained are a reflection of the extensive planning and hard work that goes into their taking, complete with the frustration, blurry vision, and numb, frostbitten fingers. But there is more to a snow leopard trek than overcoming physical challenges. It's also a test of human character, one that calls for courage, patience, determination, and perhaps most significantly, humility. Obtaining an image of a wild snow leopard is less about skill and the employment of the latest equipment and techniques, and more about respect for the mountains, for the cat, and in the words of geneticist Jan Janica, for its strength to not only survive, but to thrive under challenging circumstances. That moment when you at last see a snow leopard in the wild is transformative. The sense of accomplishment becomes less important and is replaced by a deep feeling of gratitude for being allowed to see this most special cat in its wild habitat. My final reading is from the chapter called The Reward. This was written by Bjorn. Every day we are witness to the inexplicable beauty of our natural world. A sunrise, a sunset, a rainbow, the northern lights. Some are common occurrences we see often enough to take for granted, while others, like watching a baby being born or seeing a wild species in its natural habitat, are perhaps once in a lifetime experiences. The reason some of these move us so profoundly is not always clear, but they leave us with a deeper appreciation for the universe's incredible design. There is a great deal we still don't understand about our natural world in general and about the snow leopard in particular, but hopefully, as we learn more, some of the mystery will remain. It isn't always necessary we learn all there is to know in order to understand the importance or appreciate the beauty of something, especially this magnificent cat. Not every question has to be answered, not every puzzle piece put in place. The unknown brings with it an incomparable thrill and beauty that touches us. I hope that all of you have a chance to someday read Searching for the Snow Leopard, Guardian of the High Mountains. I think it turned out pretty well. Unfortunately, it came out during COVID, but if you'd like a copy of it, I've put the link in the chat. To just this weekend, we're offering to U.S. addresses the book at 50% off. Shipping it overseas has gotten to be economically not feasible. The shipping costs more than the book, sometimes 1.5 times the value of the book. There are distributors overseas, Australia and Europe, and that you can get the book from. Plus, it's available on Amazon, and I know they have it at a reduced price, and Barnes and Noble too. And I know they ship internationally, and it's also available as an ebook. But I have put the link in the chat to our shop. Next, we're going to be moving along to presentation of the winners from this year's art and poetry contest. The theme this year was called Snow Leopard Protector of Sacred Mountains. Some of you, of course, attended our award presentation, but for those of you who didn't, this is an encore presentation. We had youth and adult categories in poetry, and then in 4 divisions of artwork, traditional media and digital, and then a combination of the 2, and then unique media, which is this. This is Ice Portal. It's the 2nd place winner by Miroslava Beres. She's from Ukraine, and she's a youth 11 or under. Adorable. And in 1st place was Learning the Mountain Whispers, an acrylic on canvas with clay, making it a 3-dimensional entry from Kuhu Kacher. And then we have our 1st place youth poem, Roaring S'mores. Very cute. Your glistening eyes amaze me, dazzling through the night. You are glittery white in color with black spots all over you, making you a sight to behold. Come to think about it, you are living the life of my imaginings. In the snowiest peaks I have eternally wished for. Enjoying life to the fullest, you beast, while we raise our bills in the hills. Even though I've never heard you roar, I'm sure you do. Mighty, captivatingly s'mores. Oh, how I wish you could live with me. I do not understand why it is illegal. I think you do not even bite your friends. Please prove me right, dear s'mores. I want to tell you that I'm 100% sure I will get to see you this Christmas, s'mores. And now we have Protector in the Sky from Margarita Krustoleva. It was the 1st place unique media youth ages 12 to 17. And when I first saw this, of course, I see the Snow Leopard Protector in the Sky. But what I didn't notice until I'd studied this entry closer is this snow leopard down on the ground, on the grass, looking up to the protector in the sky. Very beautiful. Next, we have our 8th place poem, an entry entitled Re-engaging with Sacred Sites by Emily. Suppressing cultures leads to losses. Heritage of knowledge, forgetfulness. Icons lose their significance. Losses mount. Living is all precariousness. A potential loss of income, supplies, and inhumane imbalance. Mountain ghosts prevent overeating, which devastates grasslands that protect soil, maintain hosts. But money talks. Wealthy trophy hunters enchanted by a mountain ghost are no better than dictators who ban cultures. Fur rosettes should stay on skin where they grow. The children who show pride in the snow leopard, protector of the mountains, understand. And now we have our unique media adult entries. In 3rd place is Resting by Debbie Lockhurst. Pyrography. In 2nd place, Majestic Sentinel by Priyanjali Banerjee. I would love to have seen these in person. 3-dimensional entries. And in 1st place, the Metamorphosis of a Snow Leopard, a concrete relief by Erica Gabor. It's really quite something. Next, we have a tie for 7th place in our adult poetry. This is called Shadows by Helena Malakalas. So you think man is the master of the creation? Climb to the highest of the mountains and you won't be alone there. You'll be watched from behind a rock, quietly, certainly. You won't be anything but a possible prey, a small snack. The true king of the mountains is a shadow in the terrain, assured in its steps. The snow leopard, so bold and beautiful, the king on the mountains. And then we have Yearning by Kate Walser. Quintessentially human, isn't it? To want more keeps us in motion. Desire demands our breath as a toll to ascend again and again. Altitude flexes her claws at the throat of our motivation. And yet, The rhythm pushes on, relentless, past lichen toward the next stony spire above. We belay as an act of faith, trust tucked between crumbling rockfall and our own clattering exhales. Nothing the wind says soothes the suspense. Still we continue. Honeyed sunlight rises over the horizon of the banded pupils of an ibex. A half moon gaze scans the rock face. Icy irises reflect a blaze of snow across the umber landscape. This is not his first hunt. He will not be halted by concepts as undignified as the passage of time. He prepares to repel, stretching ropey, spring-loaded muscles. Transverse ridges along the curved horns of the ibex tease at the spine and ribs in the grip of sinews. Hunger is one hell of a drug. Yearning, as it turns out, is not reserved for one species. We are made to reach beyond the rational. His tail commands gravity itself. We may reach freezing fingers toward a distant summit. We may take a leap toward the memory of success, how it throbbed with a pulse of its own, how it radiated as one body rose from the rocks below the cliff. Despite his recorded age, this snow leopard surprises onlookers again and again. Tumbling after his prey, he becomes an avalanche that always lands on his feet. Next, we have our first place combination media adult, Untamed Elegance. This is acrylic and oils with a digital image by Priyanjali Banerjee. And now we have our sixth place winner in poetry, adult. It's called Survival of the Sacred by Terry Feister. One morning, while wasting time to escape responsible living, I found a video of you on the hunt for blue sheep. Breath heavy, eyes fierce, your mottled coat blending like a wraith with the terrain as you pedaled along icy paths at the top of the world. Suddenly, you thrust yourself out and down the steep mountainside, chasing and tumble tackling a sheep, rolling down and down over snow-slicked cliffs like a wrestler for hundreds of feet, refusing to ever let go of your prey. Even sacred beasts must eat. And I knew in that moment that while you are a favorite, dear to my heart, myth and magic and breathtaking beauty, you are also a mammal, mother, father, cub, and mortal, vulnerable to the reckless indifference of humans and the heat of a merciless sun. One morning, while whiling away time to avoid a responsible life, I found myself humbled and bent in awe, suddenly certain in this uncertain world that while your life is chained to an ever-changing tree line, my soul is forever connected to your very survival. I'm moving along into our digital media adult category. In third place, we have the Snow Leopard study by Lori Prindle. Oh, those eyes and those big, beautiful paws. So pretty. Next, in second place, from Anju Panmore Rajesh, we have Glorious Solitary Snow Leopard. And in first place, The Ghost of the Mountains by Jayashri Sadasivan. And if I've mispronounced any of your names, I beg your forgiveness. Beautiful. Now our fifth place poem by Becky Norman, Snowcat Stretching Out. Mergican they breathed with reverence, woman shifting with the snow, swirling down the mountainside, caressing the ibex, fluttering the flags, dancing in the deep crevasse. Woman shifting with the snow, guardian of the mountain, protectress of the people, brown eyes morphing into gray, sable hair shifting to plush fur. Guardian of the mountain, snowcat stretching out, adjusting to sinew-padded paws, impossibly long tail, swirling down the mountainside. Snowcat stretching out, chuff chanting words of protection, gliding miles along the top of the world, small traces left as evidence of her passing. Mergican they breathed with reverence. This next entry was the first place. There was a tie actually for traditional media and youth 11 and under. And this is called I Can Dissolve by Miroslava Berest. This is a statement about climate change and the glaciers melting. Very good. And it was tied with this entry, Snow Leopard, a pencil drawing from Yulha Sojil. And now our fourth place poem. Should the Nagas, which is a mountain, should the Nagas be abandoned by Paul Espinoza? I believe Paul has joined us today. For ages of stillness have I been your faithful companion. For innumerable frigid nights have you watched over me. To me, they have been one precious, sleepless moment. Though our bond has been perfection, I sense you leaving. Have I not done my best for you and cub? Was there no true kinship in our shared breath? With you gone, my sanctity is threatened. With you gone, my eternity is solitude. Stay. I will be your home and caregiver, spirit of the mountains. Should you go, be kept well by foreign friends and return to embrace me in great numbers. Always will I await you, for neither distance nor time can extinguish your memory. And now we have our traditional media artwork, adult entries. We begin with our 10th place, Playmates, Future Protectors of Sacred Mountains. This was a pastel by Catherine Williams Moronis. I believe that Catherine might have joined us today. Beautiful. In 9th place, we have Nafisa, an acrylic by Micheline Pearl. Oh, those eyes. In 8th place, we have Ghost Gaze, an oil on canvas by Rosanna Venturini. And we do have this painting available for sale if anyone's interested. She has donated it to the Conservancy. And then we had a 3rd place for our tie for poetry. This is Protector of the Sacred Mountains, another poem by Emma. Even when frolicking sheep and goats keep watch up here, the rooftop of the world, where humans weigh themselves down with layers, need time to adjust to the lightness of the air, the extra effort to gasp, to breathe. It takes resilience, persistence, the ability to release negative thoughts. The snow, jeweled by a soft lens of sun, a mist creates a spiritual glow, a sense of protection for the mountains, not yet fully tamed by humans. A rose-headed ghost with a thick tail for balance and warmth, rarely seen, stops livestock overfeeding, enables growth, keeps soil intact, and pads in guardianship over the rocks, with a touch like the weight of a dewdrop on a cobweb. This is Beneath the Frozen Veil by Chantal Flores. In the stark monochroma black and white, a spirit prowls beyond the mortal sight. The snow leopard, a guardian of the heights, embodies nature's sacred wild delights. Its piercing gaze, a window to the soul, reflects a wisdom that cannot be controlled. This feline force, so ancient and so true, connects us to the realms we cannot view. The brushstrokes dance, a mystical display unveiling realms where spirit holds its sway. This canvas, a portal to the unseen, invites us to explore the in-between. The snow leopard's presence, a sacred call to commune with forces greater than us all. In its frozen form, a spirit takes flight, guiding us towards a transcendent light. And in 7th place, This is Mirror of the Soul, an acrylic by Micheline Perrault. Beautiful. Eyes. I'm sorry, I went backwards. And here we have in sixth place, Huang Chitois, an acrylic by Katerina Bielakova. And this beautiful painting is adorning our new shirts, which I'll be showing you in just a little bit. Isn't that gorgeous? It's meant to represent the festival of colors. In fifth place, we have Snow Leopard, guardian of the sacred Machaputra mountain in Nepal, which is an oil on wood by Raul Vega Echeverry. And now we have our second place poem by Sarah Mills, Keeper of the Kyrgyz. I may not understand the words of the elders, but as their tongues cast the alpenglow over each sacred peak, I know at last of whom they speak. For there is one descended from a warrior Khan with eyes like the globe flower of the Tian Shan, a totem animal of the great Manas, protecting the high mountains and all the pass. And in the valleys, rosetted with the shadows of my fears, she is custodian, the Ilvirs. Stalking despair, horned and fast, her pelt dusted with the ashes of ancestors past. Oh, how I long to be like her, embodying the spirit of noble share, but she alone is the sentinel, existing where others dare not hope to dwell. I may not see that trenchant stare, but in the pearl waters of Issyk-Kul, I know at last who is there, for she is one who mews in the heart of man, with all the power of a castellan, a symbol of what the tribes do trow, defending her fort of rock and snow. And here we have our fourth place, Wild Beauty, a pastel by Elizabeth Rod. And in third place, Self-Employed, an oil painting by Gabriela Barate Buga. And now our first place poem, A Metamorphosis After Milarepa by Sarah Mills. Over a steaming bowl of yak butter tea, Rimpoke spoke softly and reverently of a saint who lived nearly 1,000 years ago, who, in the great cave of conquering demons, was lost to his people by the falling snow. That night I tried to summon the tale of the curious white leopard his disciples had seen, of the protector's eyes on the distant rock, two cabochons of coolest green. But sleep was broken as the rugged cliffs I call home, and unable to balance on the ledge of a dream, I almost woke to the screed gently rolling down the slopes, every heartbeat disguising each falling stone. Then, all of a sudden, I opened my eyes. No longer did they feel wholly mine, for I had seen through Panthera Uncia's gaze the birth of sacred mountains, and for better or worse, the passage of time. And this is our second place traditional artwork, Sacred Guardian by Pat Schwab. And in first place, Sacred Protector, an ink and silver leaf on pastel paper by Katerina Bielakova. And I think Katerina has joined us today from Ukraine. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I hope you have enjoyed the art and poetry contest winners. As promised, this is what our new shirts look like. They bear that beautiful painting by Katerina. They're available as short sleeve, long sleeve, and sweatshirts, and then hoodies in a variety of colors and sizes. So if you guys are interested today or anytime, just check out our new shop. I put the link in the chat. And now we're going to take a little bit of intermission. Some of us might want to take a break, go get something to drink. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Well, for those of you who are back, um, I'm sorry, Catherine, that it didn't work. I saw you join on Zoom, um, but I see now you're watching on YouTube. This section of this portion of our program today, we're going to start off with some camera trap photographs and video. These first few were taken by Claudio Agugliaro, one of our partners, and his NGO Wildlife Initiative. And these were taken in Mongolia. This one's really cute. Quite a selfie. Next one. Obviously in the winter time. The best time to see snow leopards is in the winter, during the months that they move down following the wild flocks of sheep and goats. Their mating time is in February, March, April, and that's the best time to see them. This next group of camera trap photos and videos is from Pakistan, taken by our partner, the BWCDO, or Baltistan Wildlife Conservation and Development Organization. Typical marking behavior, scraping on the ground, spraying on a rock. These do have sound. Look at that tail. So next is a still photograph. And how many snow leopards do you see there? There's two. And there they are. Look at those tails. And some more of the scraping, marking that they've been there, leaving a message for the next snow leopard that comes along. Off they go. Here the snow leopard is spray marking the underside of that rock, leaving a message. And here we have a video clip of this snow leopard who's very photogenic. More spray marking that same rock. And here's the clip. This is one of my favorites. And this is a great clip. The Snow Leopard has many programs, and we've worked in anywhere from 7 or 8 countries, 5 down to 5 at any given time. Our guest speaker today is going to be talking about these programs, but this is a great clip. Also from Mongolia. Each weight is going to see more than the body. Hello. I just love that clip. Got up close and personal. So funny. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today. Her name is Kayley Bateman, and she is our programs manager. And I'm going to turn the program over to her at this point and let her introduce herself to you and how she came to be at the Conservancy and a little bit about her background. And then she's going to be talking about all those programs that we participate in with our partners on the other side of the world. So Kayley, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks so much, Shavaun. And, thank you everyone for joining us today. It's so nice to see some familiar faces and familiar names up here in the gallery, and, so honored to be joining all of you. And thank you, Shavaun, for sharing all those amazing readings and those fantastic art and poetry contest winners. It's truly, truly amazing work. So thank you for sharing all of that. And what a wonderful way to celebrate International Snow Leopard Day. And again, I'm Kayley Bateman. I'm the programs manager for the Snow Leopard Conservancy. I've only been with the Conservancy now for just a little over a year, almost a year and 6 months. So still very new and learning all the programs, learning along such fantastic mentors, and people who work alongside these amazing cats in these communities. Prior to joining the Conservancy, I was actually in a line of work with direct animal care. So I worked in zoos and other facilities caring for snow leopards and other wildlife directly. But during my time as a zookeeper and in animal care, I really found that part of the solution for conservation is people. I think that one of the things that Shavaun had mentioned in one of the earlier readings is that, people are a part of nature. And I resonate so strongly with that. And the fact that, over my time as a zoologist and animal care practitioner, I found that people are truly conservation. And without people, conservation doesn't exist. So that's what really motivated me to essentially leave animal care and move over into direct conservation. I'm so lucky to be part of the Snow Leopard Conservancy team. So with that, Shavaun, if you want to advance the slide for me.
Sure.
Thank you. So again, what a better way to celebrate International Snow Leopard Day, to celebrate these cats, but also celebrate the people who work with these communities and to share their work. So our first program here comes from Mongolia. So the same camera trap image that was just shared earlier. So our partner is Wildlife Initiative, and our lead for this program is Claudio Agliario. So Claudio and his team at Wildlife Initiative work in the Sutai mountain range in Mongolia. And this image here really demonstrates the diversity of the landscape. So in this area, there's a flat plateau, as well as really unique stepping stones within this landscape. And Claudio and his team work in this very critical area where this landscape and these stepping stones actually connect the northernmost and the southernmost population of snow leopards. So without this really critical ecological corridor and having a safe place for snow leopards to traverse from one section to another, this area would actually be closed off. And Shavaun, if you want to advance again. So Claudio works with local communities, specifically in this region, and they deploy a tool called Fox Lights. So this is the device that's shown here, the yellow light. This is something that we can deploy in communities. It's mobile, and it actually deters snow leopards from attacking livestock. So what the people will do is post this. And this is another amazing photo. And this is kind of just really describes exactly what Claudio's work really encapsulates, is people living alongside these amazing cats. And I think we have one more slide there that perfectly demonstrates these fox lights. What the people in these communities will do is raise the fox light really high up on a post like this. That way it can be seen for miles around. And with the light intermittently flashing at night, it'll actually deter the cats from coming down towards the livestock. And you can go ahead again, Shavaun, thank you. So Claudio, again, works very closely with these communities. This is a photo of one of the workshops that Claudio hosts. So it's a really great way for the people in the communities to get together, talk about some of the problems they're having, and talk about solutions as well. So Claudio's project really focuses on looking at the effectiveness of fox lights, but also working closely with the communities being part of the solution. So this is, if you're really into numbers, this is something that I look at as programs manager. So this is data that's showing over the last 2 years, the number of snow leopard and wolf depredations since Claudio's project began and over the course of a 2-year project. So I'll draw your attention down to the total at the bottom there. So you can see in the column on the left for snow leopard, there were 614 depredations the year before Claudio started working in this area. And as you can see, as we move to the right, the first year of the project and the second year, we can start to see those numbers decreasing as Claudio's introducing foxlights and working very closely with these communities. So we know that foxlights are effective. And if we move over to the wolf column, you know, even though we're called the Snow Leopard Conservancy, we're also concerned about other predators as well, including wolves. What's really fascinating about this project is that we've seen a remarkable decrease in the amount of depredations by wolves. So before the project started, we were at 463 animals that were taken by wolves. But within this last year, we've got that number down to 187, which is just absolutely fantastic. So Claudio and his team are doing amazing work. And so just to kind of conclude with Claudio's project here, just some kind of fun numbers I'd like to throw out there to really demonstrate the impact of this work. So Claudio's trained and worked with 60 herders. 40 foxlights, those predator deterrent tools, have been distributed amongst the people living in this ecological corridor. Over the course of the 2 years, he's held 2 conflict mitigation workshops. So those are those gatherings within the community to talk about the problems they're having and come up with those solutions. 13 people have either been involved with the project or employed by the project, which is fantastic. And then within this ecological corridor, 16 trail cameras have been deployed. So these are those camera trap devices that actually take those wonderful images that you saw. So Claudio is working to expand this project. So this year, he's actually increasing the number of trail cameras that are being deployed and including more people within the study. So essentially what Claudio is working on for 2024 is almost an expansion of the project he's worked on for the last couple of years. So we've seen huge progress with his program, and we're very excited that he's continuing to work in this area. And now we move over to another program in Mongolia. So this is our Nomadic Nature Trunks program, headed up by our partner Tunga. So this program is essentially, it's an educational curriculum that has 25 lessons that are placed in the nature trunk. So as you can see here, this is a group of Eco Club students who have participated in the training, and they have their nature trunk there. So what's really amazing about this specific program is that it's participatory in nature. The lessons really involve the students, and that is something that is really innovative in Mongolia. So this program is really fantastic. And part of the program is actually training the teachers. So you can see here, these are all adults in this photo. But part of this program is actually training the teachers to be able to teach the curriculum to their students. So even the teachers can get in on the fun here, practicing some of the lessons. And again, a couple of, group of teachers here looking over the curriculum and really getting involved and learning exactly how to be able to share this amazing knowledge with the students. And again, some highlights from the program for this year. So Tunga, our lead with the nomadic nature conservation, is looking to expand to 4 more schools this year. So they're increasing their reach. And the long-term goal of this is to essentially have this program be in 10 different schools within each district in Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital. So I believe there's 9 districts. So they're looking to really expand and have that amazing reach. And then just through the way that this program is run, it is exponential in nature. So Tunga and her staff train the teachers, which reach, hundreds of students. And then, it continues to grow. So it has this really amazing exponential reach. And through that last year, Tunga and her team were able to reach about 6,000 students, which is fantastic. Amazing. And now we'll move over to our program in Pakistan. So this is with our partner BWCDO, or the Baltistan Wildlife Conservation and Development Organization. And our lead for this program is Raza Muhammad. So with BWCDO's program, it's really what they're calling a landscape of coexistence. So the programs that BWCDO runs are really integrated, really comprehensive, and cover a wide range. So mainly their focus is going to be education and community outreach. As you can see here in these two fantastic photos, some of the youth that they're working with very closely. So the program also has conservation education within the classroom, but then it also brings children, that's okay, students out into the field to be able to practice and learn some conservation skills as well. So on the other side of this program, again, is that community outreach and providing concrete solutions for the community. So one of, beyond fox sites, which are devices that can be implemented in other areas, in Pakistan, what they really focus on is protecting the livestock. So BWCDO will work with communities to put together predator-proof corrals. So this is a corral here. You can see that what they'll do is work with community members to help kind of shore up some of these corrals so their livestock are protected at night. In addition to working with those communities and building those predator-proof corrals, BWCDO also has livestock insurance, and they also work on other conflict mitigation strategies. So our lead, Raza, is just left of center there, also working very closely with those communities to identify some of those challenges and promote solutions. And again, some of our highlights for 2024. So this year, Raza and the team at BWCDO are hoping to reach about 1,500 students. So last year, I believe their numbers were closer to 1,200. So that would be a great increase to be able to include more students in the curriculum. They're planning on providing training to 13 additional teachers, construct or shore up 3 more predator-proof corrals. And what's really exciting for this year is they're focusing on an internship program. So just like here in the United States, there's not a lot of pathways into conservation. So what BWCDO is doing is offering internships to local youth and people focusing on the path towards conservation and really giving them those hands-on opportunities. And just like here we are celebrating International Snow Leopard Day, BWCDO also has their own celebration within the community, and they hope to reach about 1,000 students through that celebration. And now we're moving over to Nepal. So this is our Snow Leopard Scouts program, headed up by our partner Anil Adhikari at Tika Samula, Nepal. And just like BWCDO's program, this Snow Leopard Scouts is a great opportunity to get students involved and out into the field, but it's also paired with a local curriculum. So students between grades 6 and 8 learn about conservation education and snow leopards within their school curriculum, but then also have the opportunity to get out into the field, learn from citizen scientists, and practice some of those conservation skills. What's really interesting about this program specifically is that community members will also be invited to join on the Snow Leopard Scouts program as well, to be able to get that really hands-on experience and learn from some of these conservationists. And really demonstrating the impact of the Snow Leopard Scouts program is this individual, Sejal, from Manang, or from Mustang, excuse me. Anil, our lead in this program, is actually, he published an article in Kathmandu, which I believe will be shared on our social media pretty soon. But one of the quotes from Sejal really struck me, really highlighting the impact of this program. And it was the fact that I wrote everything in my diary. We even spotted a pika, a red fox, and even a mother blue sheep with her baby. We sometimes see blue sheep near the village, but this time it felt special. And so it really goes to show you that these programs are so beneficial for bringing up the next generation of conservation leaders in Nepal. Another program that our partners Tika Samula Nepal have is a radio program and a free conservation magazine. So this is uplifting community voices for snow leopard conservation in Nepal. One of the things that it's a big challenge is actually getting community voices heard. So this is a really fantastic way for people in these local communities to share their stories, their conservation messages with a greater audience through a free publication like this magazine, but also on a radio broadcast that does get broadcasted in the local communities as well. So it's another fantastic program that TICA has, in addition to that Snow Leopard Scouts and their local curriculum. And again, our highlights for this year. So Anil and TICA Nepal are looking at expanding their curriculum to new rural municipalities. So these are other locations within the areas that they're working at, and to other grade levels as well. So Anil and his group are working with the local communities and the government in these areas to expand the curriculum into other areas. Another part of their new program for this year is introducing what we call Snow Leopard Tea Talks. So this is just another way, very similar to our partner Claudio, bringing people together to talk about problems they may be having with snow leopards and really have that community forum to talk about some of these issues. They're also looking to broadcast 10 new episodes of the Snow Leopard program on the local radio station. And then this fall, we're also expecting the 10th edition of the Snow Leopard magazine, which is fantastic. Again, and in Nepal, our wonderful partner, Shearing Lama of Snow Leopard Journey. Shearing is from a small community in Western Nepal called Dopal. And this area is a very high conflict area in this region. So Shearing has been working very closely with her local community on some of these solutions. So what Shearing has done this past year is construct this amazing predator-proof corral, but has also included members of her local community in the building process. So in this photo here, Shearing is here on the right, but she's also brought 2 members of the community to Kathmandu to learn how to construct this predator-proof corral. So in this photo, you can see them learning how to weave the wire mesh, which will then be transported into up to Dolpo. And then these individuals work on training the rest of the community members on exactly how to build and put together this predator-proof corral. As you can see here too, this photo is a little blurry, apologies for that. But they constructed the entire corral in this warehouse in Kathmandu to make sure everything looked great. And then all the materials were transported up into Dolpo. And you can see here, community members all working together to build that corral. And again, this is a community corral, so it's going to house and protect livestock from multiple families. And the corral, when it was all finished, actually can hold up to 600 goats and sheep, which is protecting the livelihoods of about 20 families in this region, which is amazing. And here's everybody with the completed corral, all looking very happy. And what's really, fantastic about this program too is that there was a co-op that was formed with the construction of this corral. So all the families that contributed to the building of the corral are also contributing towards the maintenance. So it is truly, community effort to build this corral, but also maintain it. And the people that worked on it and also contributing to the maintenance are also contributing to a livestock insurance program as well. And then another one of our partners in Nepal in the Mustang region is Niraj Takali. And his program is building snow leopard friendly communities in the Mustang District of Nepal. So Niraj is one of our community mobilizers. He lives in Mustang, so he is very connected to the local community, and he's working to develop solutions from conflict with herders. He's also incorporating mothers groups, government leaders, by introducing those predator-proof tools like fox lights, shoring up corrals, making them predator proof, and also just promoting general conservation actions. So in the photo here on the left is Niraj on the far left-hand side there. He's working with a group of students to put together a snow leopard a drama, essentially street drama for the local community. So they'll put on plays and performances and really bring in that education side into snow leopard conservation. In the photo of the right here is Niraj working with one of those local herders and instructing them on the proper use of fox lights. So it's a little hard to see in the image here, but kind of in the background there's one of those stakes with the fox light on the top. So Niraj will go around and work with these herders to make sure that the fox lights are being used appropriately and making sure that they're not having any conflict issues. And again, our highlights with Niraj for this year. One of the new programs he's introducing this year is a little more focused on livelihoods. So one of Snow Leopard Conservancy's programs is really focusing on bringing in alternative livelihoods for people in these communities that are not necessarily related to livestock herding. So Niraj is working to create a new initiative, training snow leopard trek guides to be able to bring people into these habitats and potentially see snow leopards. So I believe he's training and working with a guiding service in Kathmandu to train 5 new people from this village in Mustang to become certified snow leopard guides. He's also working to predator-proof 5 additional livestock corrals, provide 10 solar light units to herders. So solar lights are different than fox lights. They're actually just a solar light that is portable and small. But when herders are working and staying with their livestock late at night, they do need some light to be able to see by. So this is more of a welfare for the people initiative that we're working on. And again, Niraj is working to distribute 20 additional fox lights and then again, train those herders on how to use those properly. And then since we're kind of getting into here more of our collaborative initiatives and just keeping an eye on my time here, we're getting a little close to our 10:30 mark. I'll just briefly talk about some of these collaborative initiatives. This one is integrating local governments and community conservation capacities for snow leopards. So this is essentially that livelihoods component that I mentioned. So this is a 2-year program that's been funded by the Darwin Initiative. And one of the major programs that this initiative is working on beyond predator-proofing corrals is really diversifying those livelihoods. So one of the initiatives they're working on is marketing Himalayan chives. So this is an herb that grows in the high mountain areas, but we're hoping to see it become an additional livelihood opportunity for the people in these communities. And then our Land of Snow Leopard Network. Our Land of Snow Leopard Network is our biocultural initiative that really focuses on the spiritual and cultural value that snow leopards provide. And the network is a group of herders and community leaders, indigenous cultural practitioners among Mongolia, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. And one of the major projects that Land of Snow Leopard is working on this year is called Connecting Sacred Species and Sacred Places. So this initiative is actually bringing together youth from Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan and connecting them to local tribes in California. So this is centered around a program called Run for Salmon that just took place this year with the Winnemucca tribe in California. And then to round out our Land of Snow Leopard Network programs is our Elders and Youth program in Kyrgyzstan. So this partner is our Rural Development Fund, and our elders that work with Rural Development Fund are working on a curriculum to bring traditional Kyrgyz culture and spirituality into the lessons, focusing on kindergarten and first grade students to be able to connect with snow leopards at this level. So really bringing this idea of conservation and education and snow leopard conservation to the youth at a really early age. And then our final initiative, which we're going to go into a little more detail, is our One Health, One Welfare program in the Annapurna Conservation Area in Nepal. So this is kind of our highlighted program for today. So I wanted to go into a little more detail about this program and really kind of explain what One Health and One Welfare is. So this program has been started in 2021 or 2022, and we've partnered with International Veterinary Outreach, along with our partners in Nepal, Mountain Spirit and Animal Nepal. So this initiative took place last September, and we partnered with these organizations and brought volunteer veterinarians from the United States to Nepal to do trainings and clinical workshops in the Manang Valley in the Annapurna Conservation Area. So what is One Health and One Welfare? So this is all the basis of this program. And really what it comes down to is that everything is interconnected. So One Health is an approach that recognizes the interconnectedness of human, animal, and environmental health. And One Welfare recognizes that animal welfare, biodiversity, and the environment are connected to human well-being. So this idea that everything is connected, everything has importance, it really brings to light a lot of these social but also ecological challenges that we're facing worldwide, but specifically in this region in Nepal. So, why is One Welfare and One Health important for snow leopard conservation? So as I mentioned, snow leopard conservation is a social ecological issue. And the approach is particularly relevant to snow leopard conservation due to the complex interactions between snow leopards, local communities, livestock, other domestic animals, and the high mountain ecosystem. So humans, the environment, wildlife, domestic animals, they are all connected. So this is one of the photos from the program itself. So as you can see here, the people around are the paraveterinarians that we worked with, and the veterinarians and the veterinary team working on a horse.
Kayley, were you there during this procedure?
I was. I don't see myself in the photo. I may have been taking it. So essentially with the One Health program, we had 3 days of classroom instruction. So there are about 12 paraveterinarians. They were called junior technicians. So these paraveterinarians work in all the districts within the Manang Valley. So all these individuals came to this location to be able to participate in the training. And then we had 5 clinical workshops that followed the educational portion. So the paraveterinarians could really get their hands on and have that guided instruction from the veterinarians that we brought with us. And here again are some of the fantastic photos. So the photos on the left here are some of the photos from the classroom instruction where we provided instruction on basic animal husbandry, procedures, but also really tying in that snow leopard conservation side. So Ashley, our executive director, and I were able to present on snow leopard conservation, mitigation strategies, and even how paraveterinarians could assist if a snow leopard is stuck in a livestock corral. So again, photos on the right here are when we started to move over to that more clinical side. So the photo here of the three gentlemen with the stethoscope, I absolutely love this photo. This is actually the first time that these paraveterinarians have ever used a stethoscope. So be able to provide advice and instruction on how to use even just basic medical tools was really, really valuable. And as we moved on into the clinical workshops, people were bringing their animals from all over the region down to have our paraveterinarians provide animal care. So as you can see here, the photo on the left, the gentlemen here are actually measuring the circumference of the animal, and that way they can actually estimate the weight. So when they do give things like vaccines or medicine, they're able to accurately deploy and administer that medication.
I love this one.
One of my favorites. At times, through some of these clinics, we would just be overrun by animals. So we had a huge herd of, believe these are mules, would come down, and we would have to work with the paraveterinarians and our veterinary team to vaccinate each and every one of these animals. But every animal had to have their own chart, and a paraveterinarian that was overseeing the case. So at times it was kind of controlled chaos in some of these clinics, but everyone got their vaccination and were able to move on. So
this is my favorite photo.
It was quite funny trying to wrangle a herd of 30 mules as they came up to your clinic. And again, just a couple more photos, some of my favorites of the paraveterinarians working with some of the livestock, and then one of the livestock owners with her cow there. And what was really amazing for me to see, working very closely with these paraveterinarians, is to see their confidence grow throughout the week, and seeing them, take cases and not really know how to handle it. To by the end of the week, taking a case, coming up to a veterinarian, discussing the plan, and being able to essentially carry a case from start to finish, which was just really, really fantastic to see.
That's fabulous.
Mm-hmm. And again, another really great photo of the teamwork here. 3 or 4 paraveterinarians would work together to assess the animal and again present that case to our overseeing veterinarians, and then make sure that the proper care was received by the animal. And another component of our One Health, One Welfare program was focusing on companion animals as well. So we didn't really receive that many dogs and cats this last time, but again, this is going to be our focus moving forward. We know that in these communities, there are a lot of stray dogs and dogs that are owned by people but may not be vaccinated. So with the canine population, in some areas in Asia, it can get very out of control. A lot of these communities are Buddhist communities and don't believe in euthanasia. And a lot of these animals are not spayed or neutered. So there is a really concerted effort to focus on the dog population and get that under control, but also reduce the spread of disease. So we know in a lot of these areas that these communities live alongside snow leopards. We have snow leopards coming down into these valleys. The dogs we know have a disease called canine distemper, which is actually fatal to snow leopards. And we know that snow leopards are eating the dogs. So it's a very critical situation, especially as we have impacts of climate change and other factors. This is why the One Health approach is so relevant, especially to these mountain communities who are living alongside these amazing cats. And again, a few more of my favorite photos here. The paraveterinarians examining the animals. And in the bottom left here, this is a horse who's actually receiving a castration. And what was really special about this procedure is that it was actually the first humane castration that occurred in the whole Manang Valley. And this is kind of where like the human health component comes into play here. A lot of times paraveterinarians are trained to just physically restrain an animal for a procedure like a castration or something really intense like that. And it can be, not only very serious for the animal, but it can also pose a huge human welfare and health risk, restraining an animal for a procedure like this. And then to round out, our program, we also did include, as I mentioned, the Snow Leopard conservation side, and the upper two right photos here are the team actually going to the conservation office in the Manang Valley and distributing some of those fox lights as predator deterrent tools, giving them to the local office there who will be able to distribute those tools to the herders. And then to cap everything off, those photos in the bottom right there, we did have, basically a celebration once our clinical portion was over, to celebrate the really hard work that our paraveterinarians put in, and to celebrate the huge accomplishment for everyone. So everyone received an amazing scarf and a certificate to commemorate their hard work. So some of those amazing results we achieved, again, with all the livestock that we saw, we treated, and we saw almost 250 animals. And through the education portion, we educated about 70 people on animal husbandry, welfare, and coexistence measures. And about 50 of those were actually animal guardians, the owners of the livestock and the domestic animals that we were receiving. And then again, distributed 20 life-saving fox lights as a part of this program.
I think next up is our video.
Oh, fantastic.
Do you want to talk a little bit about it while I switch my screen sharing?
Sure. So when we were in Nepal conducting this program, we worked with a media company who followed us along for every step of the journey to really document in real time what we were doing. So the One Health, One Welfare short documentary, which Shavaun will be premiering here shortly, it does a really fantastic job of really demonstrating the impact and the reach and of this program, also with just stunning images in the backdrop of the Annapurna Conservation Area. So this video has been a long time in the making, and we're very excited to premiere it. And I think it speaks for itself of the amazing work that we're doing with International Veterinary Outreach, Animal Nepal, and our other partner, Mountain Spirit.
Manang, a remote Himalayan district of Nepal, is where an inherent bond exists between humans and animals. Due to the challenging, rugged terrain, horses and mules are the primary modes of transportation here. Other animals are used for agricultural and different purposes, like making food and other goods. Since humans and animals depend on each other for survival, there has always been a special and deeper bond that connects them. Due to their close relationship, the local inhabitants are at risk to infectious diseases that can be spread from animals. Domestic animals can often share communicable diseases with wildlife as well. This is also the home to the apex predator of the high mountain ecosystem, the snow leopard, with fewer than 500 of these majestic big cats remaining in Nepal. Snow leopards often attack domestic animals for food. And due to this, there has been a long-standing conflict between humans and snow leopards.
अस्ति पनि यही मनाङमा आएर जिउँछुवा आएर बाख्रा खाइदिन्छ त्यसमा
2 वर्ष भएको गाईको बच्चा दुईटा खाइदियो
Since humans, domestic animals and snow leopards share a triangular coexistence in this location, national policy tries to balance the needs for each of them. Therefore, it is necessary to address wildlife conservation, animal welfare, human health, and environmental protection. Snow Leopard Conservancy, OHOW, Animal Nepal, and Mountain Spirit have partnered to offer support and address these complex issues using a multidisciplinary approach. This concept is referred to as the One Health, One Welfare initiative. The program provided training to local para-veterinary professionals, animal health technicians, and conservation committee members serving Manang's rural municipalities.
यहाँका प्राविधिक साथीहरूलाई जसरी तालिम दिइयो त्यसबाट एक त हाम्रो साथीहरूले प्रविधि अनि त्यसपछि आफ्नो स्किल चाहिँ बढाएकै छन् र सँगसँगै यहाँको किसानहरू पनि लाभान्वित भएको मैले चाहिँ महसुस गरेको छु.
Instruction was provided on topics such as physical examination, husbandry, and treatment of preventable diseases of domestic animals. Additionally, livestock safeguarding techniques and other methods for mitigating human-wildlife conflict were discussed.
Like, what do they have to...
पहिलो पुरानोमा हामीले गाउँकै जडीबुटीहरू लिएर अब हाम्रै स्टाइलले गरिन्थ्यो नि नयाँ नयाँ तरिकाहरूबाट सिकाइन्दो रहेछ त्यही चीजलाई अनि मान्छेलाई जसरी हामीले स्याहार सुसार गर्छौं गाई बस्तु जनावरहरूलाई नि स्याहार सुसार गर्नुपर्ने रहेछ खानपान राम्रो दिनुपर्ने रहेछ भन्ने कुराहरुको त्यो भयो.
After the classroom training concluded, animal health clinics were conducted at 5 centralized locations in the Manang District.
आज यहाँ बन्देकरण गर्यो अनि कीटाणु सुई भ्याक्सिन अनि त्यसपछि रेबिसको सुई राख्यो जुम्राको
पहिले हामीले चाहिँ गर्नु चेक गर्नु गरिन्थ्यो त्यस्तो स्टेटस्कोप लाएर तपाईको हैन हार्टबिट हेरेर त्यस्तो हेर्ने सिस्टम थिएन अहिले जस्तो थाहा भयो हामीले स्टेटस्कोप लाएर के हेर्नु पर्ने रहेछ पुरा घोडाको जस बाहिरी पार्ट हेरेर जस्तो उलाई के भन्छ भन्ने कुराहरु थाहा भयो जस्तै हामीले सिम्पली प्र्याक्टिस गरिराछौं तर अहिले यहाँ आएर चाहिँ हामीले एकदम डिफरेन्ट के जुन अब हामीले सिक्ने नै नसक्ने अब लेभलको हामीले एउटा सिक्न पाएको छौं
एकदम खुसी म त मैले सोचेकै थिएन यस्तो अब खै गरा पनि आफै सुत्ने हैन अब आफै लट्यो अब एकदम आनन्द आज जस्तो मलाई सजिलो कहिले पनि भएन जस अहिलेसम्मको 15-20 वटा मैले गरेकै हो गोराहरु जस आजको जस्तो सजिलो मेथड चाहिँ भएन.
Providing such kind of training to the society, it will aware both animal and conservation, because when we have the animal's health, then we can focus on the conserving the wild animal life also. It is interrelated.
यस्तो खोप कहिले लाएन आज फर्स्ट टाइम लाग्छ मेरो खतरा 31 वटा खतराहरुलाई.
Another challenge we face here was the terrain, because when the animal are sick, it's very difficult for them to bring the animal to the clinic or animal hospital, even it's available here.
If we can protect the health and welfare of domestic animals, we can also protect the health of people and wildlife, including the endangered snow leopard. This holistic One Health approach promotes coexistence and improves health outcomes in the vulnerable high mountain ecosystem.
such a beautiful, beautiful video. It really demonstrates, how interrelated and connected wildlife, domestic animals, and human communities are, especially, in the areas that we're working in. It's so critical to have this really comprehensive approach that's holistic in nature, that, brings everybody together. And we hope that, through these capacity building efforts, that we're building resilient communities, especially, in the face of all these social ecological issues, and climate change as well. And I'm, specifically reminded about climate change. A paper just came across my desk a day or two ago, just saying that, with climate change, being such, a pressing issue, this paper and these researchers determined that without these resilient communities, in 30 years we may not see snow leopards in Nepal, which is a really devastating thing to think about. So approaches and conservation efforts like the One Health, One Welfare initiative are so important to be able to build resilient communities and develop the stewards and the people who are going to conserve this amazing landscape, and the snow leopards that call it their home.
Well, thank you so much, Kayley, for that wonderful presentation. And I want to thank everyone for attending today. We've run a little bit over, but we had a little bit late start waiting for people to join. If you'd like to make a difference for snow leopards, you can visit our new online shop at www.shopsnowleopard.com. And if you'd like to donate, here is the link to searching for the snow leopard on that shopping site. And again, for those of you who have attended today, we're offering a 50% discount on the book this weekend.